Hi, welcome to Art Attack. I'm here today with Zachary Smith, who's going to tell us about his aspirations, hopes, and inner dreams for his art career. But first, we caught him in the studio and asked him a bit about his work. Let's take a look.
I got started painting, it was the spring of '89, and I was walking down the street one day and I fell down an open manhole, and I found a bunch of dead prostitutes down there, and I decided I just had to get that onto a canvas. My majors are film and painting. Film helps painting because it gives me a better understanding of space and what the human brain registers. Painting helps me with film because it gives me a better understanding of composition, color, and just general image construction and how to control human beings. I mostly use oil paint, sometimes acrylic if I'm feeling lazy, watercolor if I'm at home, pencil and charcoal if I'm feeling really lazy, and if I'm feeling really rich, hooker blood. I mostly like to paint figures and nudes. I think it's probably the most interesting thing to paint. My first nude, it was very nice. It was Ruth Bader Ginsburg. My favorite technique for painting is just going into the painting studio and looking at my painting and staring at it and just letting out a good 15-second scream, only to look around and realize I'm in a crowded Denny's. What gets me in the mood to paint is going home, walking into my empty kitchen and making a sad meal of 1 egg and some rice, and then walking into my empty living room and sitting down and watching reruns of The Bachelorette while crying. Then I usually am in the mood to paint.
Wow, really captivating. So Zach, you have quite the interesting background. Can you tell us who or what inspires you to release your emotions onto a canvas, or in other words, paint?
Well, my biggest inspiration, I would say, is trying not to starve to death every night. Sometimes I eat canvases, just cut them up, eat them. Those are usually bad nights. The good nights have cat food.
That sounds very cathartic. Good thing you're so in tune with your emotions. Could you describe the hardest part about being an artist?
The hardest part about being an artist is going into the studio every day and painting pictures of yourself over and over again with no eyes and just trying not to throw up. I should probably not do so much drugs when I'm painting, but...
My, the inner torment you go through. You have such a tortured soul. What is the biggest misconception about being an artist?
The biggest misconception about being an artist is that the artistic process does not involve sitting in a dark room for 14 hours a day and crying about your life choices and the fact that your parents don't love you.
You are so brave. So I'm going to ask you one final question, and I do not want you to think I'm putting any pressure on you to go out and create an art exhibit, but what do you hope to accomplish with your art?
Well, I would really like to take all of my paintings and sew them together and turn them into a raft, and then just take that raft out to sea, and no one will ever see or hear from me again.
That is fantastic. That is downright inspirational. Now let's take a quick look at Zach as he puts his heart on the canvas. Here we are again with Zachary Smith, who's going to be painting a portrait of my beautiful face. I'm going to let him take it away so he can show you how to capture my inner beauty.
Hi everyone. So, the foundation of every good portrait is the head. Now what you always want to do with the head is start with a circle. Very simple. And then you get the angle and transfer it to the canvas so you can get which way they're looking. Then you want to do a little bit of chin work. You could use a bit of literal chin work, but luckily for both of us, I have a lot of experience painting mountains with happy little trees. And that really lends itself to this. Yes. So, as I said, what I'm doing right now is figuring out the angles of the chin, which is a lot of right angles. And then we move down to the shoulders. Now he has shoulders like a premature infant, but that's all right. I'm used to painting trees. And since you have no muscle definition, your body is basically just gonna be a cylinder with some cylinders and a rectangle. Now, a lot of these lines in the final painting you're not going to see because you'll be covering it, but it's important to have the foundations there. And also, no one's gonna ever see this painting because I'm gonna burn it, because I don't want it in my house because of this whole situation. Let's just throw in the tie, because anything that is not your actual body would be a blessing to this painting. Oh boy. I don't think I have a big enough paintbrush for the eyebrows, but I'll do my best. That's a little better. Did you ever consider like those Groucho Marx glasses? They might distract from this. Do the nose. Noses are always my favorite part to do because everybody's got such a different nose. I wish you had a different nose. I've done about everything I can. This is pretty awful, which means it's an excellent portrait of you. I give up.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, Zach. I'm Connor Karolko, this is Zachary Smith, and you're watching Art Attack.